Now for the video where Jane's story actually begins. Gamzee had to do a little bit of an annoyance to reset the universe apparently, so now we're here. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to see more and get updated on when more comes out. Let's head right on into the video.
Hello, welcome back. So, we just got done getting our mailbox pipe bombed. So, that's what a great start. That video was only 10 minutes. Let's hope we actually get to do something this time. Anyways, we were going on Jane's route. We didn't even meet Jane yet. What the f***? Okay, so... And I just cursed in the first... in the first minute! I'll have to bleep that out. Lovely. Alright. Maybe we should reconsider instead of getting our face exploded. On second thought, that's a terrible idea. Like, holy shit, that's bad. If you take a moment to slap yourself around the face for a few minutes, you have to just to rub it in. How can you be so stupid? That kind of depravity leads to one to desecrate the sanctity of the friend's mailbox is what got you into this mess in the first place. Oh, huh. But the mailman forgot to put up the, the thing. The flappy wing doodad, the bright red arm dealie on the side of the mailbox. You're quite certain that the thing is supposed to be up there when the mail is to be retrieved. Even an idiot can tell you that much, and you are a first-rate idiot. You carefully raise the little flag. Immediately, out of the corner of your eye, you spy movement in an upstairs window. It must be John. Scoping out the mail again. Quick as a flash, you zap yourself out of sight behind a nearby bush. A white cat is hanging out back here. It hisses at you, but you let a wave of crackling retcon energy dance across your palms, and the kitty vanishes. It literally just straight up disappears. That's okay, fine, whatever. Did MSPA reader just threaten a cat with cognitive dissociation? What the f was that? It is a truth universally acknowledged that cats can do whatever the hell they want, except for taking this hiding spot, that is, which you have now commandeered in the name of friendship. Oh ho ho ho, this is a much better plan to surprise John. You can't believe you didn't think of it before. You know he loves pranks, and what better prank than to be ambushed by a dear friend? Ah yes, the good old prank of an ambush. I hope you're still his dear friend. Oh god, you're getting nervous again. You hear the front door open. Shoot, here he comes. Wait. This isn't John. Oh, goodness, no. Why, it appears to be some kind of famous detective type individual, or at least someone in a famous detective disguise. But what's more, you get the strange impression that the person underneath this disguise ain't John either. Whoever it is, they make a beeline for the mailbox. Ah, shit. Maybe you're watching another mailbox robbery in action. That'll explain the need for a disguise, you guess. They reach out their hand. All of a sudden, several things race through your mind unbidden. The smell of burning, a flash of light, pain. Without thinking, you sprint to action. Oof! Switch! You grab the interloper and zap inside the house. You both materialize in midair and collapse in a heap on the floor. Outside, you hear the telltale sound of an exploding mailbox, because for some reason you know what those sound like. Whew, close one. Oh lordy, that's smarts. What on earth just happened? Your companion sits up in a bit of a daze. Looks like the disguise got knocked off in all the kerfluffle. Your hunch was right on the money. This is definitely not John Egbert. She looks oddly familiar, though. You take a look up on the window, down in the yard below. Yep, it's just like your ears told you. Where once there was a mailbox, there is now a smoldering wooden stump, surrounded by debris. It's a sight to bring a tear to any mailman's eye, fake or otherwise. You turn back around and find the stranger standing over you, looking thoroughly disgruntled. She's pointing a large red spoon directly at your chest. Only a spoonful! It doesn't really come off as all that threatening, you have to be honest, although she could probably do you at least some form of injury with it. The injury likely wouldn't be all that serious, but you probably try to take it serious anyway. Just to, be polite. Now hold on just one moment, Buster. Who are you, and what are you doing in my bedroom, and what in the blue blazes is going on? Come on, spit it out. Oh no, you hate being put on the spot. And the first question was such a tough one, too. Who are you? It's something you don't have a definite answer to, even after all this time. Gosh, she seems awfully confident with that spoon. You begin to entertain the thought that this girl might simply decide to beat you to death with it. We are going to beat you to death. You're finding it hard to think amid all the confusion. Didn't she say that this is her bedroom? You were dead certain this was John's house. It is John's house, even has its tire swing and everything. And this girl, who even is she? John's never mentioned having a sister or anything before. But looking around the room, it's obvious that she lives here, and there's no trace of any of John's things. Did he move house without telling you? That thought makes you so impossibly sad. Well, if you won't talk, I suppose I'll have to suss out the truth myself. She looks at you very carefully for a moment before glancing over at one of the posters on the wall. It's a black and white picture of what looks like a daring group of detectives. They're drawn in a fairly minimal style, with round oval heads. Immediately, your face lights up for recognition. Oh, I see! Mum's the word. She taps the side of her nose knowingly and winks, and you realize that she's trying to let you know that she knows something that you supposedly both know, but all you really know is that you have no idea what it is. Oh, you're very good. Pretending to not know that which you know, which I know that we both know. No, you're telling her, you haven't got the foggiest clue what she's talking about. Knowing stuff? How could anyone possibly accuse you of such a thing? Oh, it's alright. I won't tell anyone. Keeping incognito is one of the most important for problem sleuths like us. Always a pleasure to meet a fellow fan. She seems to be under the impression that you're some sort of cosplayer? Either that or an undercover agent of sort. Oh, what the hell. You may as well be rolling with... Let's roll with it. This will be easier than pretending to be a postal worker at any rate. Hold a moment. I got just the thing for that fellow gentle person of taste. She puts the spoon away for a moment, which is a relief, and then whips out another copy of the poster and pens out of nowhere and signs it? You never met or heard of this girl before, and she's just straight up giving you her autograph. You take a look at the signature. The name reads Jane Crocker. Huh, you guess this girl's name is Jane then. Now that we've both gotten that out of the way, nice though it is to make your acquaintance, that doesn't explain what you're doing in my house. Or come to think of it, how we even got here. Well, it's all very simple actually. Just a boring everyday example of an innocent bystander stepping in to save an unwilling teen from Parcel Bomb with their zappy hell treasure powers. Nothing weird at all. You zap around the room a bit, by way of demonstration, and end up back where you started. Transportational technology. I knew some various competitors of ours had been developing something like that for a while, but I had no idea they were already doing field tests. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. But a parcel bomb, you say? You gesture out the window at the said obliterated remains of the mailbox. There was nothing anyone could do to save it, or its contents. Oh, shoot. Jane wasn't expecting anything extremely important deliveries, was she? Potentially in the form of significant birthday gifts or a copy of a mysterious computer game? You mean the Spurb Alpha? I'm not surprised you've heard about it. That isn't due for another week, though. Oh, well, that's a relief then. No harm done. I wouldn't go quite that far. Alpha notwithstanding, the fact remains that someone tried to blow me up. Okay, so some harm done. Gee, the nerve of some people. You cannot fathom who could possibly want to do such a thing, and especially someone as harmless and personable as Jane here. Harmless, eh? X to doubt. Oh, come on. One does not like to state the obvious, but if I had to guess, it's probably related to my being in line to inherit one of the largest corporations on the planet. Oh yeah, so they send you pipe bombs on the reg. Huh? Crocker Corp has its enemies, there's no question about that. Oh, of course, that's why her surname was so familiar. Jane is the new face of the Betty Crocker Company. You don't know what you expected, concerning what's happened on your journey so far. You should have seen this sort of thing coming. By the way, for those of you who apparently don't know, the company called Betty Crocker are now called, I think, Pearl Milling Company, which is very fucking interesting, that now after I've gotten into Homestuck, they've changed the Betty Crocker name. Understandably so, since, you know, the implications of Betty Crocker weren't great, but at the same time, it's like the world changes to the whims of what I know. It's crazy. You don't know what you expected considering what's happened on your journey so far. You should have seen this sort of thing coming. Speaking of which, you wonder aloud if anything like this has ever happened before. Only thing that could make this any more surprising is if Jane had been sent similarly life-threatening cargo on any previous occasions. Oh, yes. Why, in fact, I got mail something similar just last week, in fact. You tried to think too hard about the fact that Jane apparently fell for the exact same trick 2 weeks in a row. Father was out in the yard and about to take his car out back for a soak when the blessed mailbox went up in smoke. It was quite a shock. Ever since then, he's been a bit antsy about me checking the mail myself, but today it arrived while he was out. Good thing, too. He would have thrown a fit if he'd known. I'm barely allowed out of the house as it is. I'm sure he means well, but it can come off as a bit overprotective sometimes. It's plumb ridiculous. A grown lass full of vim and vigor can take perfectly good care of herself. You don't want to pass hasty judgment on someone's familial situation, but it sounds like Jane's father's just trying to keep her safe. It can't be easy, constantly deflecting death threats away from someone determined to walk right into them. Where's her sense of self-preservation? I suppose it might seem strange to the uninitiated, but you'll sort of learn to accept it after a while. I've been dodging death ever since I can remember. People seem really determined to do me in. I simply can't explain it. That is a problem. That's a problem. You might want to, check that out. Jesus. Wow, that must be pretty rough going. God, that sounds awful, actually. Being the imminent ruler of an empire must come with a fair number of people who want you gone. Thinking back to your encounter with Fefri, you suppose that you were recently part of such an attempt yourself, in a manner of speaking. You declined to mention this to Jane, and begin reminding of your time on Alternia caused you to lapse into an uncomfortable silence. Jane looks around a little awkwardly before breaking it. So, not that I'm ungrateful for the fact that you appear to have rescued me from certain peril, but... Oh, right, of course. You're intruding in a complete stranger's home. You almost forgotten that this is the first time you and Jane have ever met. Your heart sinks as you consider that. Between the vastness of the universe and the determination of those attempting to murder her, this might be the last time you may ever meet. John, my boy. Jane offers to show you out. On the way downstairs, you politely ask her how long it's been since her family moved here. Does she know anyone called John used to live in this house? She gives you a strange look before gesturing to a... Oh god, is that a corpse by the fireplace? You take a moment to process the fact that Jane has a stuffed human person mounted on a plinth in her living room. She says it's her pop-up, which you guess means grandfather. It's kind of hard to parse some of the vocabulary Jane uses sometimes. Anyway, the guy's name was John, and you can't help but get a sense of resemblance to your good friend Egbert. You've encountered enough coincidences by now to know that this must be him, somehow. You must have traveled forward in time by accident, or some such. This is the only possible explanation. You try very hard not to have a whole mental breakdown about your apparently long-dead friend, but sadly not hard enough. However, at the sight of your various expressions of horror, shock, and confusion, Jane perks up considerably. Oh boy! Someone having a schizo meltdown! I love it! Did you know my dear old pop-up? You should have said something! He was a popular fellow, so I suppose it was only a matter of time before one of his friends from his performing heydays came to visit. That's right, Jane. Just keep talking about him and your friendship in the past tense. That's totally helping you feel better. By which means say, yes, Jane, you're absolutely right. You are an old, entertaining friend of her pop-ups who just so happened to be visiting the area in the middle of circus touring season. He's trying to be too insulting when Jane eats the lie up without a moment's hesitation. She fucking frame 1 ate that shit. Well, if one of old Pop-Up's Crocker pals is here, I suppose I can't just turn you out on some street like some nobody. And Papa would never forgive me for giving a family friend the old cold shoulder. You simply must stay a while longer, I insist. You can't help but agree enthusiastically. And here you were thinking this volume was over before it really got started. Gee, this makes a nice change. You've grown accustomed to putting in a lot of hard work to score some hangout time with various people on your journey. That all it took to convince Jane was a pre-established connection with her apparently very wealthy relatives. Just goes to show you stuff. I'm afraid I haven't fully fulfilled my duties as host very well so far, but I'm determined to change that starting now. But, what to do? You've been playing the game of friendship long enough by now to sense an important decision approaching. You take a quick inventory of Jane's important character details. You mean, interest in personality traits. She seems to have a passion for the lost art of sleuthing and the famous detectives of years past. Her imminent inheritance of a bacon conglomerate and an expert spoon wielding like indicates she knows her way around a cake or two as well. Why don't the two of you save this right now so that you don't lose your progress?